Americans waste $165 billion, yes, $1 billion worth of food each year. That's about $2,200 per family. And part of that waste is caused by confusion over expiration labels. What does sell by, use by, best by, and other labels really mean? And will eating food past that date really make you sick? KXLY4's Colleen O'Brien working for you now, getting answers to those questions. And Colleen, you're saying that labels are essentially worthless as information.
And it's not just me, Nadine. A new study from the Harvard Food Law and Policy Clinic says date labels differ so widely that, yes, they are essentially worthless. In fact, Washington law only requires date labels on perishable foods. Idaho has no laws on the books requiring dates. This allows manufacturers to make their own choices about how and what they label. And as you'll find out, labels can lead you to throw away thousands of dollars in food.
If it's not moldy, if it's not gross, it's still good.
Sell by, those are the ones that, I'll stretch out.
If it does say use by, I go by that date and I will throw it out.
As you weave through the aisles of the grocery store, you pass by thousands of products and thousands of labels. Use by, sell by, best by, freeze by, expires by. But what do these labels mean? Does the food go bad on that date? As I found out, no. In fact, some of the foods we buy are still safe to eat months after the date stamped on the side. Dates, in essence, don't tell the consumer anything about the safety of the food. I needed to learn more, so through the power of Facebook, I found 2 KXLY viewers willing to let me raid their refrigerators.
These guys will last a long time.
Colette, a mother of 4 growing girls, is strict. If today's date is on the food label, it goes in the trash.
Even when the kids will bring it to me and say, will you smell or taste it? I'm like, no, if it says that date, throw it.
Her husband, on the other hand,
I use the smell test.
And it's
Smell and taste,
Yeah. And how far are you willing to go past the use by date?
Not like a week probably.
we peered inside Colette and Roy's immaculate refrigerator to find answers. Is Colette throwing money in the trash with her strict label rules?
I would say yes, because I think I throw out a lot of things.
Or is Roy playing with fire, eating foods well past the label date?
Sell by, those are the ones that, I'll stretch out.
Yeah. But use by,
Like a week.
you'll toss? Or you still
I still will smell test, taste test.
One thing's for sure, we found a surprise in her fridge.
How is that still in your fridge if you throw?
I don't know.
Our second volunteer, Andrea Skranick, is a busy mother of teens.
If the milk is 2 days past sell by, they're going to drink it unless it's, come on, if it's chunky, they're not going to drink it.
She's a little more lax with expiration dates.
Yeah, it's to save money. We go through about $600 a month in groceries. I have teenagers. So I'm not going to throw something away just because it's like, oh, the sell-by date, it looks fine, but the sell-by date, it's not good common sense.
And it's that food philosophy that helped us discover a lot about dairy and eggs inside Andrea's fridge.
So let's see, what do we have in here that might have a date on it?
Our first lesson, dates on food items are meant for the manufacturer and retailer, not us, the consumer.
It usually has to do with a quality issue and not actually a food safety issue.
Lisa Breen is a food safety specialist with the Spokane Regional Health District, and she knows her stuff. I expected her to revolt at a sour cream container open, used, and about to reach its used-by date. But Lisa wants us to know that most foods can have a long shelf life, well past their label date, if we handle them properly.
In theory, as long as you're keeping a product under proper temperature control and it still looks visually okay and doesn't smell off, technically it should be safe to eat.
Food spoils because we spoil it by keeping it on the counter too long or introducing bacteria with our hands, utensils, or a sneeze. If you think eating sour cream past its date is impressive, wait until you hear what Lisa has to say about eggs.
How much longer past November 24th are the eggs still good?
Okay, actually you can keep eggs once you purchase them. If you purchase them before expiration date or use by date, you can keep them for like 3 to 5 weeks.
So it sounds like as far as, use by, sell by, freeze by, best by, you can sort of
ignore those and just visually inspect your food. Is that sort of what I'm picking up here?
Pretty much, as long as you know you've handled it properly and kept your temperature control on products that have to be kept refrigerated or kept cold, you're going to be okay.
Ignore dates? Armed with this knowledge, I still wasn't sure if I'd convince our stickler Colette that she can eat food with yesterday's date on it.
See what's in here. Yeah, let's see what we've got in here.
A big question for Colette is meats. Whether you buy fresh or freeze and thaw, meats last longer than we think when they sit on your refrigerator shelf.
With the meats, for poultry and ground meats, you do want to use them within 1 to 2 days if you have them in refrigerator. And then for the steaks and pork and stuff like that, 3 to 5 is pretty good on that.
Salad dressings turn out to be a boon for savings. Lisa says it has so much vinegar or citric acid in it, they last far beyond the label date. Colette would normally toss these when they reach their use-by date, which is why what we found next was a big surprise. A salad dressing stamped March of this year.
This is March this year. It's a vinegar base. This one's definitely okay. It's your Italian dressing. There's a lot of vinegar in here. And anything that's acidic is really, there's not a lot of things that want to grow in there at all.
How is that still in your fridge if you throw?
I don't know.
But now that are you tempted to throw it away?
I would have gone through my fridge if you would have let me before.
But it says March. Would you have thrown that away?
I probably would have looked at it before I cooked or before I used it.
Are you surprised it's still good? She says you can still eat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
It turns out no matter what you have in your refrigerator, dairy, meat, salad dressings, the label dates can mostly be ignored if you handle your food properly. But what if you don't?
Nausea, a little bit of stomach discomfort, sometimes stomach cramping, and often followed by diarrhea.
It's no wonder Americans are so wary of expiration dates. Dr. Alyssa Heidig is a group health family physician. She says it's expected you'll get some type of food sickness in any given year.
Bacterial food poisonings are the Salmonella, Shigella, E. coli. Those are all bacteria that are very common.
Apparently, we're just not sanitary people. She says we don't handle our food properly often enough. So Dr. Heidig keeps it simple when it comes to food safety.
If you're in doubt, throw it out.
After digging through 2 refrigerators, it's safe to say nobody is wrong in their food philosophies. We're all just a little misguided by confusing and unregulated food labels. Instead of throwing away your food, throw away everything you know about food labels. Handle your food properly. Keep it at a safe temperature, visually inspect it and smell it before you eat it, and just go with your gut. Remember,
It usually has to do with a quality issue and not actually a food safety issue.
That was the biggest revelation to me, Nadine, is that that label there is about quality, not safety.
Yeah.
The manufacturer wants you to taste their food at the peak freshness. It doesn't mean that the food is bad if it's past that date. So with a lot to share about food safety. So as we've been saying, Lisa Breen, who you saw in my story, is in our KXY studios right now answering your questions about food safety on our KXY4 Facebook page.
And I understand she's gotten a lot of questions asked already.
Yes.
I think the one thing that surprised me the most was the eggs. 3 to 5 weeks after that pull date.
They really
I
last
never
a
would have
long time.
thought, but good advice. My goodness.
Want to save you money.
Ah,
right?
love
Yeah.
that.